What's up, future programmers? It's Benjamin Dev here with another video on responsive web design certificate with HTML happiness. So in this video, what we're doing is we're going to continue doing our basics of HTML and HTML5. But before we do, if you click on the top right, we're going through JavaScript and the JavaScript BootCamp with all of the lessons here from FreeCodeCamp. So if you want to have a look at that, feel free to. But without further ado, let's get ahead with our basics HTML. So before we got up to here, which was to delete the HTML elements, and now we're going to get an introduction to the HTML5 elements. Before we do, what I want to do is suggest that you guys use and download VS Code. So if you go to VS Code into Google and have a look, your first link will be the code.visualstudio.code. You guys should really download this because it's one of the best code edited platforms or programs there is at the moment. I've used other things before, like Atom and I can't remember the other name of it now, but yeah, I've used other editors, Storm PHP and all that sort of stuff. But I find that Visual Studio Code is really good for everything from Python, C#, C++, Go. It's such a great bit of kit. So go ahead and get yourself a copy of this, and it says it's got built-in Git as well, which I really love. So you don't have to use a terminal on Mac, you can just literally use it straight away in the editor. So once you've done that, what I would suggest is you would just start or create a new folder, and what we'll do is we'll call this HTML lessons. And then once you've done that, drag it into your Visual Studio Code and give that a second to open up. And what it will do, it will just take a second. You can see here that it will just give you your recent work and information and start a new file and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack open a new file, and I'm going to type in index.html. And in here, I'm just going to type in doc, and you can see that Emmet, which is an extension of VS Code, will actually fill out everything for me. So there we go. We've got our HTML head and body there. What we're going to do is just call this HTML happiness. I'll just leave it as HTML for now. So right, let's just save that now, and let's go back over to FreeCodeCamp. And in FreeCodeCamp, we can get on with the lesson. So this is basics HTML5 introduction to elements. So this includes header, footer, nav, video, article and section, which are all crucial for when building the skeletons of a website. So for example, create in here, it's asking you to create so we've got a p tag, and it's saying create a second p tag after the existing p tag element with this code. So let's go ahead and do that. But before we do, how about we copy and paste all of that into our document here, and I will be sharing this on GitHub so you can download it once the lesson is up. Right, so let's do a new p tag. To do that, like this, p, and it wants us to, whoops, no, I don't want to do that. So create a second p element after the existing p element with the following text, which is all this cat stuff, all this cat nonsense. I'm not a cat person. And then wrap the paragraphs with an opening and closing main tag. So that's quite simple as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this main, and then we're going to come down and we're wrapping it. So that's what it means by wrapping. What I'll do is I'll show you more. I'll show you what it means to wrap and indent. So let's just copy and paste this, and let's just get rid of all of that information there. So what they mean by wrapping is, let's clear this up a bit. So I'm just tabbing it, and I'm tabbing it here as well. So this main is holding these two paragraph elements. So when they say wrap something, what they mean is to essentially put it in the main tag. So let's get this second paragraph tag. Let's Command X, and let's put it outside of the main tag. Now that means that it's not wrapped. We only have the one paragraph that is wrapped within the main. So that's what that means, wrapping. Some people get a bit confused with that, but that's what it means. So let me just save that. It doesn't matter too much about our document here. Let's go back to FreeCodeCamp and let's run the tests. So let's look down here. You need 2 paragraph elements with Kitty Ipsum, which we have. Make sure each of your paragraphs has a closing tag, which we do. So everyone, they've got a starting tag. Yeah, they've both got starting and they've both got ending tags, no problem. Your P element should contain the first few words provided Kitty Ipsum. Well, yeah, okay. The main element should have 2 paragraphs in it. Well, I've explained that to you guys. It does. The main tag should come before the paragraph tag, which it does, and the closing one after, because as you can see, both of these tags are wrapped. Let's run the tests and we're good to go for the next one. So yeah, we'll donate later. I will donate to you, FreeCodeCamp, one day. I will. Right, anyway, so basic HTML5 and add images to your website. All right, this is going to get great now. So images are great. Let's just copy and paste this image here. Let's just paste it into, let's put it before our P tag in our main. And in fact, I don't think that's a real image link, is it? No, it doesn't look like it is. So what are they telling us to do? Right, so they've got this image source here. So I'm going to copy and paste this out here. And then what we can do is we can go into our desktop quickly. Desktop, where are you? Desktop. And then we can go into, no, not DT there. We want to go into HTML5 lessons, into index, and our image is not coming through by the looks of it, which is kind of annoying because they gave us that link to use. But I think that might be because we've got our main tag, we've got image, your image source here. So hold on a second. Why? Right, so they want us to change it to that image there. So let me go back to here and let me just copy, paste that in, and I'll go back to my HTML, refresh, and we've got a picture of a cat. That's just beautiful. Yeah. Right, anywho, so what we need to do is we need to add an image. So I'm not really going to read any of this. You guys can read this. The one thing I will talk about is the alt text. Alt is basically it's good for SEO, but it's also good as alternative text for people who are possibly disabled and they need they have a browser that talks to them, so it will read all the information out and then it will say a cat, there you go, author standing on beach with 2 thumbs up, for example. So it's just for people with disabilities. We will go over accessibility at some point in the HTML course. So let's try and add an image to our website. Insert an image before the H2 element. Right, so before the H2 element. What H2 element? Let me just reset the code because I know I did something a bit weird. So let me reset the code. Yep, that's fine. Reset. Before the H2 element. I do not see a H2 element. I see 2 paragraphs. Yeah, of course there's a H2 element there. Right, so insert it beforehand. It does say beforehand, doesn't it? So insert an image tag before the H2 element. Okay, so let's open up IMG and SRC, which means source. So it's going to look, where is this image? And we're using this URL here. So the source is where they get the image from. And then, there we go. We haven't even closed our image and it's already popped up in our mini browser here. Then we need to set the source attribute to the URL, and finally don't forget to give your image the alt text, the alternative text, which we really want to do. If you're building a website, make sure that it's accessible for accessibility and friendly for people with impaired vision and all that sort of stuff, and make sure the web is for everyone. So yeah, good. Okay, so what we're going to call this, we're going to call this cute kitty. There we go. Looks beauty. Or in fact, what we should do is call it a image of a cute kitty. and then / and closing bracket, and that's our image. So let's just copy and paste all of that into our project file, and let's just start here. It's going to really delete that bit and paste it into there. We are using main there, so let's do this, run the tests and submit and go. So the next lesson is link to external pages with anchor elements. Okay, so when you're clicking on lots of different things, let's just say, for example, let's go to our example website. We want to click on the BBC website, so let's go href. So this is where the URL, a bit like the source thing, the source attribute, this is the href attribute, this is where it's going to belong. So https //bbc.co.uk, for example. Then you close it up, and then in between these two bits here you can give it like a name or information of what it is. So you can say link. Normally you see like click here, but you can just type in something like BBC. And then also, I think what they're going to teach you at some point is that if you save this and go to our page, you see if I refresh, you see there's our link here. If we click it, it's just going to take us to the BBC. And there we go, takes you to the BBC, but then we've lost our page. So if I go back one, and if you type in target, target equals, and then you do underscore blank, what that will do is it will open it up in a new window. It doesn't say it here yet, so we need to hard refresh. You can see it says target blank. Now it'll open in a new window, and that's what you want to be doing if you're building a website and you're linking to other people's websites. You want to make sure that it says target blank. So yeah, let's do that. Right, so we need to do our task here. So create an A element. So we know how to do that now. So we go A href equals brackets, and then what we're going to do is create an A element that links to freecatphotoapp.com and has cat photos as its anchor text. That's the word, anchor text. That's what I was trying to say. So cat photos, meow. Right, anywho, that's that done. Let's just refresh. And again, actually I don't want to click it because I know it's gonna just lose this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down command, and that's going to open it in a new window. And the domain is, oh, there's a cat that wakes itself up. That's kind of cute, I guess. Not a cat person. Right, run the tests. Let's see what happens, and boom. Okay, let's do one more lesson before I finish this video up, before I wrap it up, because I know it's dragging on a bit. So this is link to internal sections of a page with anchors. So this is a great thing to learn. So for example, on my website, let me just go to Benjamin the dev. I know it's a long-winded way of doing it, but there we go. So this is my GitHub. This is where you'll find all the information. But actually what I want to do was go to my GitHub IO. So this is my portfolio of web stuff. Just give it a second to load. So what they're saying is you want to have internal sections of page link elements. So if you go to click core skills, it'll drag you down to there, and that uses just a bit of CSS animation. You can do that with JavaScript as well, but again, if you do it on projects and all that sort of stuff, you can see some of the websites that I've built on here. Anywho, right, anchor elements that can be used to create internal links to jump to different sections within a web page. I think I've just demonstrated that to you guys. So below is an example. So they give us an example. They're using the pound or hashtag contact us, contact header, and basically that means that when you click the link, it will look for the ID of contacts header where it says contacts. So what we need to do is we need to change our external link, which is our external link is this one, and we need to change it to do hashtag footer. So let's just go hashtag. Oh, no, that's the pound sound. Right, okay. Just bear with me because I haven't used this keyboard in a while. This is my recording laptop. Okay, give me a second. I'm just going to copy and paste it because I haven't used this Mac in a long time. It literally is just for recording videos. And it was footer, wasn't it? So let's do that. Let's let this refresh quickly. Have you refreshed? I don't know. Let's try it. Oh no, it hasn't refreshed. No. Okay, we need to, oh yes, we need to remove our target blank. Good stuff. Let's remove our target blank. That should have refreshed now. Now that should just, no, that still not working. Let's make sure it's nice and clean. ahref footer, remove the target blank, then add the attribute of ID to footer, which is here. So add ID is equal to footer. And now it should technically jump. Hold on a second. Let me just tidy that up a bit. It should now technically jump down. Boom. See, it's gone down to the footer. So running from the cops. Okay, weird. But yeah, that's that one. Is that done? No. Have we got? Oh, should be. The A should be jumped to the bottom. No, we didn't finish. We just left it to say cat photos. So jump to bottom. Jump to bottom. It's a weird saying. And then jumps to bottom. Alright, well that's pretty much that video wrapped up and finished. What I will say is, let's just finish this, get all the green ticks. Okay, cool. So that was interesting to learn. Keep playing, keep testing with it, keep trying to build out HTML stuff. It's good fun. Build your own website. If you got any questions or you get stuck with building your own projects, please feel free to leave a question below and I will get back to you. I am doing a JavaScript series on YouTube. That will be in, I'll try and link that to you on the top right hand side, and it'll be in the description. All code that I will be using in these projects will be on GitHub, and you'll be able to download and play with that code as well. Like I say, any questions at all, feel free to ask in the bottom in the comments. So please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.